Okay, we'll get started here in a moment. Again, anybody watching on YouTube currently, you can scan that QR code and join the webinar through WebEx. So you can ask questions to myself or to Russell, the program coordinator for business here at Fleming. I encourage you to do so. And if you need any support, feel free to reach out at any time. As I said, anybody in WebEx, feel free to use that chat to ask any questions. We will have an opportunity at the end to have a little bit of a question and answer period as well. Okay, well, let's begin, Russell. Are you ready?
I think I am. I'm in my office, and I feel like during
Perfect.
this presentation, the lights in my office are going to turn off automatically. So
Okay,
yeah. I'll part of it. I'll be in the dark, maybe. So
okay. Yep. Well, you know what? I think there's a lot of people joining the webinar
okay.
that feel a
Oh,
little bit
fabulous.
in the dark, right?
Yeah.
And so it's very commensurate of that. So I think that's kind of cool. And maybe we can spin it as a testament to our
Yeah.
environmental sustainability,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So it's perfect. So welcome everybody to Webinar Wednesdays. We're focusing on our business program today at Fleming College. So anybody attending or anybody watching, you've probably thought about coming to Fleming for business, thought about business in general, or have decided you want to come and really want to meet Russell before you get to campus. So we're going to start off with a program presentation from Russell and then move into a question and answer period. But to begin, uh, these are your hosts. So myself, Matt Thompson, I'm the manager of recruitment and conversion here at Fleming College, and then Russell Turner, the program coordinator of business. And Russell has quite the experience. And he's been with Fleming College for over 20 years, closing in on the 25-year mark. And then he's also taught at Trent University for over 20 years as well. Even expanding outside of the post-secondary education industry, he's worked with the government of Belize as a consultant before. So you're getting a well-rounded and global sense of the business scale and what business is like on a global level. So very excited to learn what Russell has to talk about today. I wanted to give this brief intro as well because I think it works really well. He calls himself an edutainer, so an educator and an entertainer. I really like that, so we're going to hold you to that, Russell. Creator and trier of new things, very important. And as we'll see in this presentation, we talk about innovation, and it is about trying new things, not necessarily reinventing the wheel, but how do you make the wheel better, right, Russell?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to this. So
Perfect. Me as well. We're going to start off with a land acknowledgement and then a little bit of a general recruitment video, and then we'll get into the program information session. So Fleming College respectfully acknowledges that we are situated on the Michi-Sagi lands in the traditional territory covered by the Williams Treaties. Chimugwech to the Michi-Sagi people for allowing us to continue our work in your territory.
Outside, smile on my face, don't kill my high. Never stagnate, just passing by. Can't stay still, don't ask me why. Where to next, let time decide. Me and the world see eye to eye. Life's a journey, enjoy the ride. Get vibey with it. See me on the decks, we live in the mix. Get with the bass one time, let it make the room go crazy, cause we don't miss. I just go with the flow. Pick yourself up if the mood gets low. Sometimes chill, take it slow. Any bad vibes, hit the road. Hit the road. Any bad vibes, hit the road. Chill, take it slow. Any bad vibes, hit the road.
Perfect. And Russell, before we jump into the presentation, one thing I always like to point out in that video is the one thing that stands out to me is that there is not one video shot of students in a lecture hall, right? It's all out in the field. It's all hands-on experience, learning as you go, and that applied learning that we need so desperately, especially when we're looking at getting out into the workforce quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I actually am not in the lecture hall at all this semester. And next semester I have like one kind of lecture-ish class, but not in the lecture hall. So
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Well, Russell, I'll let you take it away here, and I'm looking forward to it.
okay, thank you. So I just want to start by telling people that I sound Canadian. I feel like I've practiced my Canadian accent, but I actually did not grow up in Canada. I moved to Canada in high school, and again, I feel like I sound Canadian, but there are certain words that I still can't pronounce, and they have double O sound. So I'm just letting you know that as we go through this presentation and I mispronounce something, it's because again I didn't grow up here in Canada, and after being here living in this beautiful country for decades now, I still can't get used to the winter. But I digress. So I am the program coordinator for the business uh, for the business students. So a program coordinator is someone who have a lot of different roles. One of them is coming on like webinars, helping be a part of the recruitment. But it's also, I'm a person who you can come and see if you need help, if you need some direction. One of the things that there's lots of reasons to come to Fleming College. One of the big reasons is that it is a very supportive um, it's a very supportive place, so students will come to me and it could be anything. They need some direction on who to talk to about some personal problems, academic problems, all that kind of stuff. So it is a very good place for that. So I am the coordinator. I help students specifically with academics. If you have transfer credits, if you've gone to another post-secondary school, we could see if anything will come over, transfer over, making sure that you're in the right courses. I'm the one that checks all the little boxes to make sure that you graduate at the end. But again, it's also about just advice on various aspects of your life. I do not think that I know everything. Far from it, but I do know people that know everything. So I'll make sure that you get to those people. So I am just trying to switch the slide here. Oh, now I've gone too far. So okay, so you're probably, well, quite a few of you will be in the situation where you're not really sure what you're going to do. Now, some people absolutely know what they're going to do. So, I talk to students and they'll like, this semester I have a couple of students who are wanting to get into real estate. Real estate. I have a student who really wants to work in hotel management. I have a few students that want to take this business knowledge and put it into working in the trades. So some people absolutely know what they want to do. It could be that you have a family business. Maybe you're an entrepreneur and you've thought of a couple of innovative products. And again, some people have a lot of direction on what they want to do. Now, I was not one of those people. When I went to school, I had no clue what I wanted to do. Well, I kind of know what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an archaeologist. That was my dream. And then I'd gone through a couple of years, and then I felt like the world only had needed one Indiana Jones, and it wasn't going to be me. So I kind of in school, I kind of found, what my strengths were and what my weaknesses were. Spanish was one of my weaknesses, and economics was one of my strengths. And so now I've had a career. I worked for the Inter-American Development Bank, and I worked in Belize. I worked in the Bahamas. I worked in Colombia. I've had a couple. I worked for Parts Canada for a bit, and you know, I started off not really sure of what I wanted to do. And that may be some of you out there. You're not really sure what you want to do. Now, here's some of the reasons or some of the characteristics that people have when they are considering business. So I don't think that you don't have to check every box here. But a lot of people who enjoy business like solving problems. Now, in our classes, we present you with some easy problems, and by the end of it, by the end of the 4 semesters, there are some challenging problems that we are looking for you to solve. Some of them are, again, very structured, and some of them are very are kind of vague in what the problem is. But business is full of challenges. There could be marketing decisions. There could be, accounting, financial decisions, trying to figure out what customers need, what customers don't need. And if you like trying to find out solutions, I think business is a good fit for you. And again, as I'm going through these, you don't have to check all of them. Okay. Are you creative or entrepreneurial? Like I wish that I was more musically inclined. I wish that I could draw. I could draw a mean stick figure. You come to Fleming, you'll see some great stick figure art in my classes. Um, but from an artistic point of view, I'm not really creative. I wish I was more from an artistic point of view, but I do have some ideas. So being creative, could be artistic. It could be, music. It could be a drama, but it also could be just thinking of innovative ways, looking at new ideas, new products, and how could we do things better? Okay. We talk about this word entrepreneurial, and some of you, may have the idea that you want to start a business, but you don't necessarily have to want to start a business to come to a business program. Okay. So just even liking innovation is enough. And sometimes you'll hear the word what's called an intrapreneurial. And now I'm having trouble pronouncing big words. An entrepreneur. And basically, what they are those individuals within a company that are looking for that work with coming up with new solutions and new products and better ways to do things. The third reason why you might pick business is that you enjoy working with people. Like I look at my job as a professor, and one of the best things about it is that I get to work with people. Okay, it is a very um, fun job, and I get to interact with and find out about what people like, what people don't like, their dreams when it comes to the professional dreams. And if you like teamwork, if you like networking and helping others succeed, then I think business is a good fit for you. I Another thing about why you would pick business is, do you like understanding how things work? Okay. I used to work for the Disney Corporation, and it was not a very exciting. I try and tell people that I was like Mickey Mouse and all that kind of stuff. It was nothing like that. There was nothing overly interesting, a very technical thing that I did. But one of the things that I got to experience is how Disney, the Magic Kingdom, went from Thanksgiving to Christmas overnight, and how, how the businesses, how the park operated. I also got to find out, just various things about how people move through the park, which I found quite interesting. And like the one thing that I learned from Disney, if you get a choice between going left and right, always go left. Okay, always go left. But do you like understanding how things work? Are you, curious about how some companies succeed and how some companies do not succeed? Why customers will choose one product over another? Why are a lot of people obsessed with iPhones or, other products? And then also looking at, how do companies raise money? How do they um, how do they how do they pay out? And so there's lots of things about, businesses that we are trying to figure out and how they work. Are you adaptable and open to learning new things? Like one of the things that I've learned over, my 25 years is that we're always learning. You're always learning. You'll hear that, education is a lifelong journey, and I think that is so true. A lot of people have been, obviously been through elementary school, high school. Some of you may have been to other post-secondary institutions, may have some people, that have been out in the workforce and coming back. But it is this idea of, always being flexible, always being open to learning. And like I think over the last 20 25 years things have changed, but it seems that things have changed a lot faster in the last 4 or 5 years. COVID was a big it was a big change. I felt like, for me, I left work and I was like, I'll just leave my computer on, I'll be back to work next week. And I didn't come back for over physically come back for over a year. And how business has changed during that time. We've had like relatively high inflation. People that would remember back to the 1980s and 1990s would remember some inflation, but from about 1995 up, up until about a couple of years ago, we didn't really have inflation. Now it's come back. It's in the news. International trade and a relationship with the United States. So things have been, changing quite quickly. And again, you need to be flexible. You need to be able to adapt and always keep learning. Last week there was a webinar on artificial intelligence. And although artificial intelligence has been around for quite a while, it is very it's come back. A lot of use of different platforms like ChatGPT, probably one of the more famous ones. The other thing that is, do you want practical skills you can use right away? There are a lot of skills. So business teaches you financial literacy. So it's not only about, about accounting for a business, but it is also about, your personal finances. We talk about communications, about marketing. Looking for a job in and itself is you trying to sell yourself, which is part of marketing. Project management. I have I have 3 kids, so there's a lot of project management going on. So although it is, specifically looking for, these skills for a job, but it is in life in general that these skills can be helpful. The one thing that I do want to stress here is that we sometimes have this notion of a business like being a store or Google or whatever. But in a way, Fleming College is a business. We have marketing, which Matt is part of. We have accounting, we have human resources, we have people in operations. And you can look at like education. is also needing business people. Hospitals need business people. Trades, whether it be plumbing or HVAC, part of it is about business. I challenge students at the beginning to give me something in their life that they interact with that's not really a business, that doesn't have an HR department or doesn't have some sort of marketing or accounting. So there are lots of reasons, why people would take business. Now, the next point that I want to make is, well, why should you come to Fleming? Okay, why Fleming specifically? Okay, you enjoy hands-on applied work. We spend so much time doing this hands-on applied work, and I'll get to all the specifics of it. But we are using real data. We're solving real problems. We're working on group projects, and so there's a lot of this applied work. Now, again, some of you may have specific goals. Some of you may not be sure. But our program here at Fleming, our business program, is 4 semesters. It will take you 2 years to graduate. Now, it's a quicker path to a business career as opposed to a 4-year degree. Now, some people, and I'm more than happy to discuss this with people, the pros and cons of both. So I'm just going to go back in that. Missed a slide there. Sorry, I think I've missed somewhere along the. Did I miss something? Okay, so there are lots of reasons to to come to Fleming. So the purpose of this program is to empower students to become adaptable, and here are the key words: the adaptable, ethical, okay, confident business leaders. Part of it is getting people. Some people are scared to present. By the end of it, I feel a lot of people are very confident in presenting. So it's not just about giving out diplomas. It is about, discovering your strengths. Again, some of you may already know your strengths, but some of you are not sure. And it is about developing meaningful relationships and networks. Like, we have a very, very solid alumni network. We have a lot of our alumni coming back and taking interest in our students. We have a lot of alumni that actually end up hiring people. But again, it is more than just a piece of paper. It is about, real world experience and applying that to a career path. Okay, so again, sorry, I missed the slide. Maybe I should be working on my presentation skills. But, again, you enjoy hands-on applied work. You want that fast, practical path to a business career. Again, I'm more than happy to talk about, if anybody has questions about, college versus university. As Matt mentioned at the beginning, I have taught at Trent University for quite a while. And I'll come back and talk about that you can actually transfer to Trent or other schools. And you get the best of both worlds. You get the practical knowledge, the applied work in here at Fleming, and then you get more of that theoretical. But you can do it. I'll come back and talk about that just in a few seconds. But some people want to start working sooner. Some, again, people want to continue on. Maybe you want to start your own business, and there are options. And that's one of the reasons that I think business at Fleming is a good choice, that there are options. We are a small program. We are, there are some schools, the Toronto schools, Ottawa schools, they are very large. But if you like smaller classes, more support, close faculty contact, Fleming is the place. I can, I have in my first year classes, I have 2 seminars, about 50 students, and I can tell you everybody's name, and we are just, at the end of it, I've learned everybody's name. So I think that's a good thing. If you want to go to school and hide, that's probably not a good thing. Hopefully you want to come and use the resources that we have here. And again, it is about employable skills, whether it be in finance or accounting, about marketing or human resources. It's just not only academic theory. So there are lots of good reasons why you should come to Fleming College. So how do we do this? We do have a focus on social innovation and entrepreneurship here. So you'll see that in a lot of your classes, you will talk about, this idea of social innovation, about, how do we just be better? How do we help those around us? And we do also have a focus on entrepreneurship. Now, the one thing that I did want to mention here is that we have a student organization called Enactus, and it is a global student-led organization that uses entrepreneurship to create social, economic, and environmental impact in local communities. And our chapter of it here at Fleming College is fantastic. They are a great bunch of people. They have great a great a mentorship. Now, I'm going to say like YL and Raymond and Noel and Gada, fantastic people. Now, this may come back to haunt me that I've said that they are great people. They may remind me, if they end up watching this, they may remind me of this down the road. But this chapter of Enactus has done well. There's competitions, and they have done incredibly well in these competitions. They have some social innovative products. One of them is about planters. And they use recycled material so that you can grow things. It's a cool idea. We have a lot of applied learning. A lot of applied learning. We use a lot of case studies. So in this last semester, I taught organizational behavior, first year class, and we have done 8 case studies and 10 in-class assignments. Okay, so in all these seminars that I had, so we had 12 classes. There is a 1-hour lecture for it that Charlie does, and I do the 2-hour seminars. And in the 2-hour seminars was completely about case studies and in-class assignments. Okay, the students spend the whole time working on stuff. In one of the other classes, they have what's called the $5 challenge, and you get $5 and you got to start a business. And there's been some absolutely creative ways, and I think students really get into this competitive nature of what can you do with $5. So lots of interesting things. We do a lot of like marketing plans, business plans. We have a class in entrepreneurship, but there is a lot of planning and thinking about, how to improve a product, or coming up with a new product, or how to make a business better. There's lots of planning. And in your 4th semester, we have applied projects. So it's a whole course, and all you work on is real life business projects. We have worked for a clothing store. We've worked for a car company. I have actually 2 surfboards in my office. We worked for a surfboard company. We've worked for a golf course. We've worked for just a lot of different kinds of business, real life project. And part of it is about what you put on your resume. And that's what we're trying to build up, is those resume things that stand out when you are looking for work. So you do finish in 4 semesters. It is 2 years, job ready skills, ready to go. And we have some absolutely fantastic graduates that have come here incredibly successful. Okay, I could start naming quite a few. Uh, um, I there's one that is very familiar to Fleming College. His name is Thomas. He has done incredibly well. Some people got out, done incredibly well. Some people are like, I think I should go on and do a business degree. In Ontario, we do have a few. The big one that we partner with is Trent University. I teach at Trent. One of the other faculty member here, Raymond, he also teaches at Trent. So we're very familiar. You see us here. I've joked with a couple of students that they've ended up being in 6 classes of mine throughout 4 years. So that's quite a lot, and they weren't sick of me. But we do have, and it's a 2+2. So you come here for 2 years, you go to Trent for 2 years, and then you got a, a business diploma from Fleming College, and you have a business degree from Trent University. So you kind of got the best of both worlds. Teaching up at Trent, I can always tell who went to college because they are fabulous presenters. A lot of great presentations. So that's one option. There are schools, students of ours have gone to Ireland or to Scotland to finish their degrees. So again, this idea of lifelong learning, taking it, some people go straight into the business world, and some people continue on and complete degrees. Everybody's journey is a little bit different. You come here, and we're more than happy. Raymond and I are very familiar with Trent University. Charlie, one of our other faculty members, is very familiar with Ireland. I am actually from Scotland, so I do know quite a bit about the school and the area. A lot of people will just will say to me, well, what should I do next? Now, the one thing that I do want to challenge, if you're watching this, the one thing I want to challenge you to do is don't think about what's next. Think about what's last. Where do you want to be in 10, 15, 20 years? Because again, everybody's path is different. If you want my job, it's a lot different than you want, a job as a manager in a retail store, or to work in advertising. There's lots of different journeys, and students will come to me. And again, this is a good thing about Fleming College, that our doors are always open. Our lights may not be on. I'm trying to get the light on without moving away from the computer. But there is this, there is this. We're a good resource. And our offices are easy to get to. And we're always open for these discussions. Sometimes learning is not only just what happens in the class, but it can be what else happens outside of the class. So I always tell students, don't think about what's next, think about what's last. And what I would like you to do, and you're more than welcome to email me, but go on LinkedIn. If you're familiar with LinkedIn, it's it's a kind of social media, and you can see everybody's background. And just search out business and Fleming College and see what people are doing. I could sit here and rhyme off, a good 20, 30 people, but you could go out and see what what people are doing, where they are. And there's lots of interesting things that students of graduates of our program have done after, and that will give you just a sense of where you could go, and potential, perhaps, places that might hire you. And So again, think about what's last. Now, some people are like, well, just tell me where students go after they graduate. Some people start their own businesses. Some people work in small business management. We do have, quite a few students that come to Fleming, because they have family businesses and they want to take over. Quite a few of our students are in sales or marketing and media management, supply chain management, banking, insurance. I ran into I was at the bank, um, you know, a couple of days ago, and sorry, last Friday, and one of her former students was working in their investment branch. So it was nice to kind of catch up with them. So again, we have people that are working in real estate. It could be retail management, it could be municipal administration. It could be a lot. We have someone who works for a police department, okay, in their administration. So there's lots of different options. Um, so what courses do you take? Okay, I'm not going to go through every 25 courses that you've got to take over your 4 semesters, but there are core courses. Okay, it doesn't matter what school you will go to, you will take marketing, you will take something to do with operations, you will take something for human resources and accounting and finance. There are core business courses, so it doesn't matter if you go to Harvard or Princeton or Fleming College, you will take those kinds of courses. We also have these essential employability skills. Okay, so you will take a communications course, 2 of them, take 2 computer courses. You take math, and you'll end up taking a general education credit to expand your knowledge. There's some really interesting ones. One of the big discussions in my class this week was there was a gen ed about something for the birds. I don't remember the actual title of it, but we're all trying to figure out what this course was about. But there are these essential employability skills, and they are, like a lot of times students, and talking to employers after, it's, a lot of times it was, people were like, did they show up? Do they know how to use a computer? Are they good communicators? A lot of times, employers are asking for these soft skills. And then we have a few courses that are maybe not so unique in the system. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Uh, they're not um, so unique, but we very much stress them. We have our course, so you'll spend the whole semester talking about creative problem solving and looking at innovation and change. We have one that is, you spend the whole semester looking at corporate social responsibility and ethics. When I went through school, we didn't really have these kinds of, maybe the new ventures, maybe the business, but we didn't really talk about ethics. And I don't think I missed the class, but we didn't really have these, like looking at problem solving, innovation, and change. And then we have, again, this, you take a whole semester, a class on applied projects. So again, there are, those courses that are common to every business. There are the essentially the employability courses, and then again, ones where we're like focusing on this idea of social innovation, kind of ethical approach to things, which has really taken off in business over the last 10-15 years, and then again on entrepreneurship. So one of the things that I talk about in my classes, how fast do you make a decision? How fast do you make a decision? Now, there are some things that, like I bought my vehicle. I bought my vehicle and I spent about 20 minutes. And I was like, I bought it. And it was a big financial decision, and I bought it so quickly. And there are certain things that, like our family's gone on trips, relatively speaking, not the big financial commitment of, a new vehicle. And we spent like hours like over analyzing. One of the things that I really suggest that you do is that you go to the school and you check it out. I have an older daughter, and she did come to Fleming. Just so you all know, she came here. She went to Trent and she went to Fleming. She took my advice. She did look at other schools, but my recommendation, what I recommended her do was go to the school. Do you like it? Do you feel comfortable there? Do you feel that you could be a part of that? And I think that is important, to come and visit us at Fleming College. We could set you up on tours. I will come and do a tour for you. And you could come and come into one of my classes. More than happy to have you. I find Fleming is a very welcoming place. And I strongly suggest that on this next slide, there is this, you can book a tour, okay, explore the campus. And I think it is a good thing to do, is come here. If you have questions, ask the questions. Okay, there is my email address. I am more than happy. I find sometimes in these situations, you come to them and you're like, I have a question, but I may not want to ask it. Or you may think of a question like 2 days, later. Absolutely. Email me and I'll be more than happy to answer. And if I don't know the answer, maybe Matt knows the answer. Maybe one of the other fantastic people that work at the college knows the answer. So does anybody have any questions? I'm just wondering if anybody has any questions. Matt, do you have any questions? Can I sign you up?
That's perfect, Russell. Thank you. And maybe you have an answer off the top of your head. What is the highest revenue or profit generated from the $5 challenge from a group in your class?
I don't know. I would have to ask Wendy or Charlie that. Uh, I have seen like in a couple $100. Like I've seen
Yeah.
like up in a couple $100 from, but the students will work on it, and they will do it over like a day at the school. So they could set up a booth or something like that. So I would have to ask Charlie or Wendy. Now I'm very curious. My
Yeah.
daughter did it. She did it at Trent University, and she came to me and she said, would you wear this t-shirt? And I was like, what? She goes, would you wear this t-shirt to class? And she goes,
Okay.
I'll give you $5. But she had gone to where her job was and said, look, I can get you advertising at the school. So she made a few $100s using me. So there are some very
Perfect.
creative solutions. Students have made things, and it's fantastic to watch and fantastic to see. So I've even bought stuff over the years from the students. So
Yeah. I I don't know if this is allowed, but can I give anybody a tip for the $5 challenge?
sure,
As a winner of the $5 challenge myself in my education, anybody watching, pre-sales. Resourcefulness will always outweigh resources.
yeah,
That's the idea.
yeah.
So I won't say exactly, but my group, we did $525 of profit in 5 days
Oh,
off of
very good.
$5, and it was selling business cards.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was a very, very interesting approach, and taught me a lot.
Yeah.
So definitely a good activity for people to do. I wanted to touch base too, Russell, on that 2+2, because students coming to Fleming first and then going to Trent get your diploma and your degree in the same amount of time as
Yeah.
an honors degree, and you save
Yeah.
about closing in on $8,000 in tuition costs
Yeah. Yeah.
doing it that way. Because
Yeah.
with us, our tuition is a little bit lower, and you pay
Yeah.
that for your 2 years, and then you go on and pay university level tuition for 2 years. So
Yeah.
it's a more economical
Yeah.
approach, and that financial literacy piece definitely comes into play.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually teach a class up at Trent on Thursday nights, and I pass this one class, and I see about 7 of our graduates on Tuesday nights. I see about 7 or 8 of our graduates in this class. So a lot of people do take advantage of it, and you know, it is, I think it is a good plan. My daughter did it, and yeah, it has worked out well for her. She's got a fantastic job. She lives up in Toronto and living her best Toronto life. So
Perfect. Yeah, that's excellent. And Russell, as you said, if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to
yeah,
you to your email there. They can reach out to uh, my team, the recruitment team at ask us
yeah,
at flemingcollege.ca with any general questions. Find us
yeah,
on social media at Fleming College across all platforms. And if you scan that QR code, you can book a tour with a campus ambassador who's a current student at Fleming. Now I'm going to add Russell's calendar availability to that link because he's
yeah,
signed up.
yeah,
And you can also book an advising session with a recruiter. So if you're not 100% sure on how that 2+2 pathway works, you're wondering about different opportunities. If you're looking at taking, say, business first and then going into a trade because you want to be a solopreneur, you can definitely look into doing that and getting some advice from our great recruitment team here at Fleming.
yeah.
Perfect. I don't think we have got any questions.
Okay.
Russell, do you have
Okay.
anything to add kind of as a last minute takeaway? I liked your go left thing. I don't know if I'm reading into it too much, but I feel like that could be a thing for life.
Oh,
Usually
absolutely.
people want to go with the grain and go right. And if you go against and you go left, you'll be surprised what you find.
Yeah, it was I don't know if you've ever been to Disney. They did this at Pirates of the Caribbean. But that's everything. Like if you go to Canada's Wonderland and there's like a huge parking, you got choices. Always go left. Okay,
Interesting.
always go left.
Hmm. I think
Yeah,
that's a great takeaway.
yeah. So
Perfect.
yeah, as long
Well,
as Fleming's on the left.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Perfect.
So
Well, thank
okay,
you, Russell, for your time.
okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Matt.
everybody, for
Okay,
joining today, and everybody on YouTube. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and bye for now.
okay. Goodbye.